Vikings, let's win the game.
Vikings fan, a major decision is about to explode. This is not just a simple roster tweak, this is serious talk about signings, trades, and even a possible unexpected return. The Vikings are evaluating quarterbacks on the market, could shake up the backfield because of cap concerns, and are monitoring names who could become available in the coming days. When this kind of movement starts, you know it is not routine. It is strategy, and some of these choices will redefine the direction of this team. Stay with me because the market landscape is ready to change everything. Let's get started. Not everyone realizes it, but a quarterback's offseason begins long before the first open practice. It is conversation, routine, mindset, and that is where things get interesting for the Vikings. The name at the center of it all is J.J. McCarthy, and what Kevin O'Connell said at the Combine was not just polite praise. He did not stamp it with, "He is the starter, period." He emphasized competition in the quarterback room. And when a head coach talks like that, the fans in purple and gold raise an eyebrow. I did too, I will admit it. But there is a positive side. O'Connell described McCarthy as hungry to improve, and this time he should finally have a truly healthy offseason. Last year felt like a soap opera. There was the meniscus injury, the rehab, the lost time, and that steals reps, steals confidence, steals processing speed. Now the plan is simple. Fix what was missing, detail by detail. He is in California training with John Beck just like he did before the draft. The kid wants to be back in April, ready to hit the gas. Let me be clear, this is the opportunity of his life in Minnesota. 10 starts last season showed flashes. They also showed hard lessons. There were games where he looked in full command. There were others where his internal clock was late by half a second. In the National Football League, half a second turns into an interception. Experience matters, but the clock does not wait. If the team brings in a high-level veteran, the window could close fast. If it is a true competition, then it becomes a real fight. And I want to see who handles that pressure, because that jersey carries weight, real weight. In the middle of all this, O'Connell also mentioned internal names approaching free agency. Eric Wilson, for example, pure consistency. Versatile, smart, doing the dirty work and showing up every week. O'Connell basically said they want him back, but he also admitted other teams noticed his tape. That is how it works. If you play well, you draw attention, and a linebacker who understands the system is gold. Purple and gold in this case. He also talked about Jalen Naylor. Speedy has become a development success story inside the building. A complete receiver who attacks improvement every day. The kind of player who may not dominate headlines but shows up on Sunday. And again, the Vikings are not the only team watching the tape. If another franchise comes with money and opportunity, Minnesota has to be ready. Carson Wentz came up too. He arrived late but helped the quarterback room. O'Connell left the door open about him. That fits the competition message. It is not a promise, it is a signal. And it is a signal to McCarthy as well. You only get this kind of fan-level breakdown here. So tell me in the comments, do you want an open competition for McCarthy or a safer veteran plan? Stay tuned, because later there is a statement that hits pride in a big way. Hold that thought, because the next story dives straight into the backfield. It could hurt the wallet and the heart. Some players arrive and instantly feel like family. And when the conversation shifts to a potential cap cut, it feels like a piece of Sunday gets ripped away. That is what is happening with Aaron Jones. He delivered, no question about it. 2 seasons in Minnesota, and he played almost everything. Produced on the ground, helped in the passing game, became that smiling veteran the locker room respects. But the National Football League is cold, and when you look at his cap number for 2026, the shock hits. The impact is massive for a running back, and that is where the debate heats up among those who live and breathe Vikings football. The truth is simple. You can appreciate someone and still move forward. Jones is 31. He missed games last season. The explosion is not quite what it used to be. He is still good, but the tough question remains. Can the team become more explosive at the position while spending less? A lot of people think so. And I understand it. That leads to the crossroads. If the Vikings move on, how do they replace him? Free agency or the draft? If you go the veteran route, you buy experience. You buy pass protection. You buy someone who understands blitz pickup and keeps the quarterback clean. For a roster that wants to return to the playoffs in 2026, that is tempting. A rookie can break out. A rookie can also miss a read and kill a drive, and a dead drive in January sends you home. But free agency costs money, and expensive running backs always carry risk. Big names will demand serious cash. The second tier will not be cheap either, and running backs face a steep aging curve. You pay today and you might regret it tomorrow. If you wait for the draft, the conversation changes. You get youth, fresh legs, and a rookie contract. Running back is one of the few positions where first-year players can contribute quickly. It is not guaranteed, but value can be found on day 2. The thinking is simple. Be patient, grab a back in the 3rd round and move forward. Use higher picks on premium positions like offensive line, corner, or pass rush. Those are the kinds of spots that swing games. There is another layer people forget. O'Connell's system demands more than straight line runs. It requires reads, timing, and pass protection awareness. Drafting a young player means he must be mentally ready. Otherwise, he becomes empty yardage that disappears when the game tightens. I am torn. Part of me wants to restructure Aaron Jones and keep the stability. Another part looks at the cap and says this is business. If there is a chance to get more explosive while freeing up money for the defense, it is worth considering. It may not be sentimental, but it is reality. Remember the domino effect. Saving money at running back could fund a strong veteran addition in the quarterback room. It could also secure a key defender. Everything connects. I will ask you directly. Draft youth or pay for proven production in 2026. The next story makes the J.J. McCarthy situation feel even heavier. Before we move on, one fan to another, subscribe to the channel. It is free. Jump into the comments. This is Bleacher Talk, honest opinions, real debate. Let's keep going because the next part touches the future of the franchise. Sometimes an executive says something that sounds neutral, but to a fan it sounds like an alarm. Lately, that is exactly how this quarterback conversation feels. It is not just healthy competition. There is something deeper underneath. Once again, J.J. McCarthy is at the center because Kevin O'Connell essentially admitted the context has changed. He did not say he gave up on the kid, but he made it clear the team now has to rely on data and experiences to guide the decision. In fan language, hope alone is not enough. Production is required. And it is required quickly. Then Ben Lieber offered his interpretation, suggesting this could point toward targeting a veteran who can start immediately while letting McCarthy develop another year. When a former Viking says that, fans in purple and gold listen. He understands the locker room pulse. He knows when messaging is protective. It did not stop there. Rob Brzezinski stated the team will explore every opportunity. He did not lock in McCarthy as the unquestioned starter. He emphasized the need for a baseline level of quarterback play for the offense to function. That sounds obvious, but it is a public message. Nobody owns the job automatically. Naturally, the rumor mill started spinning. Kyler Murray became one of the names mentioned. Alec Lewis suggested the financial component is key. If Arizona cannot find a trade partner and decides to release him, Murray could hit the open market. Then it becomes his choice. Does he pursue a long-term deal with major financial security elsewhere? Or does he accept a one-year prove-it situation in a strong environment? That possibility is what makes this real. If Murray considers a short-term deal, Minnesota becomes intriguing. Suddenly, the quarterback battle is not theoretical. Let me be direct. I do not buy the automatic sit McCarthy another year idea. This is the National Football League. If a high-level veteran arrives, the locker room will follow whoever gives them the best chance to win on Sunday. Players want to win, coaches want to win, owners want to win. It is that simple. At the same time, I understand the nerves. 2025 showed highs and lows for McCarthy. There were moments of promise. There were moments of struggle. That is why this messaging feels unsettling. It sounds like uncertainty. I hate that feeling. Tell me in the comments, if a legitimate veteran option becomes available, do you pull the trigger? Or do you ride with McCarthy and accept the growing pains? The next story brings back a familiar name and a specific date that makes everything more real. Some stories feel like reruns. When I saw ESPN project Kirk Cousins as the Vikings' possible starter in 2026, I took a deep breath. It hits memory, debate, and old scars. This is not a signed contract. It is a projection, but a national projection right before free agency raises eyebrows. There is clarity on timing. The Atlanta Falcons are expected to release Kirk Cousins at the start of the new league year. March 11th becomes the starting gun for this entire storyline. The logic behind the projection is straightforward. If the current quarterback plan does not deliver stability, you turn to a known quantity. Cousins brings proven production. Nearly 45,000 career passing yards, 298 touchdown passes. In Minnesota alone, over 23,000 passing yards and 171 touchdowns. A 13-4 season in 2022. A strong start in 2023 before injury ended it early. Those numbers reflect a high floor. Not necessarily a championship ceiling, but reliability. Reliability becomes attractive when you believe the roster can contend now. The argument is simple. If quarterback efficiency sits in the middle of the pack, the temptation to add a steady veteran grows, especially one who knows the building and understands the expectations that come with wearing purple and gold. But let's be realistic. Cousins is 37. He has earned more than $320 million in his career. He will not come cheap. Even on a shorter deal, he commands significant money. That forces a strategic conversation. Do you reinvest heavily in a familiar name, or do you allocate those resources elsewhere and commit fully to internal development? There is also the emotional component. Some fans remember how well he was playing before the injury in 2023. Others remember postseason disappointments and missed late-game opportunities. That divide resurfaces every time Kirk Cousins becomes a headline. I will say this: if he hits the open market, Minnesota will evaluate. They have to. Experience, system familiarity, established production. Evaluation is not commitment. That is where excitement and panic often get ahead of reality. It is not a coincidence this speculation grows alongside uncertainty around J.I.J. McCarthy. When the most important position feels unstable, every available veteran becomes part of the conversation. Cousins, given his history here, will always be part of it. Think about the locker room impact. A reunion changes leadership dynamics. It changes expectations. It changes the external narrative overnight. Those who live and breathe Vikings football would be split immediately. Here is the big question. Does bringing back Cousins signal doubt in the young plan? Or is it simply a cold, calculated move to secure a competitive floor? That answer carries weight. The next story cuts even deeper because it involves someone who left, won it all, and finally spoke his truth. Now take a deep breath with me. This is not just cap analysis or lineup projection. It is raw emotion. It is pride. The name is Sam Darnold. After leaving Minnesota, he went to Seattle and lifted the Lombardi Trophy. That alone stings. But what truly hit was his recent interview. When asked if he felt a lack of belief from the Vikings, he did not dodge it. He said the team did not want him back. He admitted it was hard to swallow. He said it hurt. After stepping back, he understood the decision. When a former quarterback speaks that openly, it resonates. It is not drama. It is reflection. He believed he could continue here. He realized the organization chose a different direction. At the time, the choice was to move forward with J.J. McCarthy. Youth, upside, financial flexibility. The reasoning was clear. After an inconsistent 2025 season, the narrative shifted fast. Seeing Darnold win elsewhere triggers the inevitable what if. What if he had stayed? What if continuity had changed the outcome? Football is not linear, but missed opportunity lingers when the offense struggles. At the same time, the decision was not irrational. The front office aimed for a new cycle and salary reset. When immediate results do not follow, scrutiny intensifies. Those who live and breathe Vikings football start revisiting every fork in the road. What stands out is that Darnold did not attack anyone. He was direct but respectful. He affirmed his belief in himself. He acknowledged the difficulty. He expressed gratitude for landing in Seattle. That shows maturity. No public feud, just strategic divergence. Strategy carries consequences. Today, the Vikings are at another crossroads. McCarthy working to prove he is the answer. Veteran rumors swirling. Kirk Cousins resurfacing. Kyler Murray speculation lingering. In the background, Darnold's words echoing that he was not part of the plan. That increases the pressure on the next quarterback decision. If this evaluation misses again, the story will be told for years. Nobody wants to relive regret every February. Think about it. This is not only about who starts in 2026, it is about identity, direction. What version of the Vikings will take the field to defend the North? That is what connects all of this. I have lived through rebuilds and seasons that felt like endless promise. What stands in front of this franchise now is a defining direction. J.J. McCarthy under pressure to make a real leap. Aaron Jones possibly walking out the front door. Kirk Cousins hovering as a symbol of stability. Sam Darnold holding a trophy and saying he was not part of the future. This is not minor off-season noise. This is identity. Either the Vikings double down on the future with conviction, or they pursue immediate security. There is no more comfortable middle ground. I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? This is open debate, pure passion in purple and gold. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go.